looking at this thing. We're gonna put it in the car. So, we're about to make a huge progress forward on our STI here. We're gonna go ahead and get this EJ25 installed in the car, probably get the turbo in, probably get the downpipe on, probably get the catback on, and start getting a lot of the accessories on to get this thing going. Realistically, I should be able to have this thing running if we just went all out tomorrow, but we're not. We're gonna take a little time because I still got a couple of things coming that aren't necessarily engine required for it to run, but things that I wanna replace. So, let me give you a quick rundown on our engine, quick rundown on the car. Let's get the EJ25 installed, start getting things going. Engine-wise, we have a Type RA short block here with IAG Stage 1 cylinder heads, GSC S1 camshafts, 264 lift on those things. Those things are gonna be nice in that stock block. 2007 STI, we got a nice cob front mount on there that we put on last video. Engine bay, I've pretty much cleaned this up. I will probably clean up that bell housing and the transmission one more time before we toss this thing in here. We're gonna have to go ahead and get our slide pin in, our throwout bearing on, lube up the shaft, all that stuff before we can even get it in. We have new pitch stop, new transmission mount we gotta throw in, a lot of stuff. So, let me get the bumper off this thing. I just want to get right into it. It's already 7 o'clock at night, so I want to make some solid progress on this thing this evening. So we'll get our bumper off, we'll get the transmission cleaned up one more time, get our throwout bearing in there, get our slide pin in, get the transmission set up so that way we can go ahead and get our engine in. I do. Let that degreaser sit on there for a minute and kind of do its job. Look at that. Degreaser working its magic, man. Yeah, that's way cleaner. Not perfect. Don't need to be perfect, but you know, it technically didn't even need to be clean. It's just kind of a good idea to do so. It's not even technically a good idea. It's just for aesthetics, I guess. It's just my OCD telling me to clean it. God, this stuff always smells like booty hole. But we want our shaft moved up for a throwout bearing. I like to lube up the splines of the transmission also, as well as the tip, just to make putting everything in a lot easier. Now we're gonna put some moly grease on our clutch fork here. I'm gonna take the spring off so I don't lose it. Stick it up through there. Stick it into the feet of the throwout bearing. Grab our slide fork. Our clutch fork on here. Moves pretty freely. You gotta make sure it's facing the right way. So we need to get our chain on here. I've pointed this out before, but there's 4 spots that I'll typically go to with these, so I'll point them out as I'm going through this. You're gonna want 3 12 mils and 1 14, so I like the 4 chain ones. It's just easier to distribute weight across them. So I'll do 1 off the power steering bracket bolt up here. I'll do another 12 up here off of the back of the engine. We're gonna do 1 14 mil off the AC bracket up here. Bam! Let's get this thing off the stand, man. Let's get this engine in the car. Let's do the stuff. Hook our chain up. Get this thing up in the sky. Oh, we're getting somewhere. So I want to give a huge shout out once again to Rally Sport for being a huge supporter on this build. We have an ACT HDSS from them. This is the clutch that I recommend to all you guys for like fun street cars that make a decent amount of power. These things I want to say are rated up to like 450, 500 foot-pounds of torque. They don't feel bad driving them either. So if any of the stuff like you guys see us using, you're interested in for your car, make sure to use our discount code Smeedia over at Rally Sport. It'll save you 10% off on a handful of parts. There's some companies that can't give discounts like Cobb, IAG, and a couple others, but for those that allow discounts, use it up, man. Save that coin. So I also snagged a set of brand new pressure plate bolts because the last owner just used whatever bolts he had sitting around for this thing. So got some new pressure plate bolts. We're gonna go ahead and get this clutch installed. Shouldn't be too bad. These guys get torqued down to 18 foot-pounds. We are gonna be putting a little bit of Loctite on them as well. So we'll get the clutch disc on, the clutch disc, the pressure plate, the bolts, clutch alignment tool, get it all torqued down, and then this thing will be ready to go in the car. But before we do that, I think I might do the up pipe alignment before we toss it in the car, but we'll see. That's easy enough. Brake clean. Friction disc here. This one says transmission side, so it's gonna go in like so. pressure plate. There we go. There we go. We'll get all our bolts started, make sure that our disc is centered. Actually, I can make sure our disc is centered right now. Ensuring that your disc is centered will make your life way easier when it comes to installing this also. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do the up pipe now or in car, and I think I'm gonna do it in car even though it's gonna suck more, but I think it'll be easier so that way we can line up our turbo inlet and everything like that. The biggest piece of advice I can give you when installing this is remember one thing, and that's angles matter, okay? Angles. Stop right there. Knock this up and out of the way a little bit. Slide this forward again. Like I said, it's all about angles, baby. See? Just like that, now we're in. Now we are in. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. In a while, crocodile, let me hear you say it. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That's right, Jimmy. Oh yeah, our studs are out. I need to grab a couple 14s for the bottom studs. So I got one top one over here started. One bottom one over here started. What is that, a real-time engine install of what, 2 minutes? Tell me Subarus are hard to work on. Everything engages. Look at that. We're in, daddy-o. First thing you always do before you do anything else after this, push in the clutch fork to engage it. You'll hear it pop like that. It's engaged. We'll put our clutch return spring back on, just like that, and go hit the clutch just to make sure it works. We got clutchage, which means that our engine installed properly. So let me get the chain out of here, and we can finish bolting up the rest of these to get our engine permanently installed. Ha ha ha! What I say, man, it's all about the angles. You get the angle of the transmission right, you get the angle of the engine right, and it'll literally just slide right in like that. I think that literally took me maybe 5 minutes to install this engine. It's in. We still have to install the rest of the bell housing bolts, get the starter in, and all the stuff that kind of goes on the back side of the bell housing, put the engine mounts on, put our new pitch stop on because I have all group N mounts for this thing. Group N engine mounts, group N trans mount, group N pitch stop mount, just because I want to be able to enjoy this thing. I don't want stupid stiff mounts in this thing. So I figured all those would be kind of good options for this. But you guys saw, like, when you get the angles right, it literally just slides right in like a hot dog down a hallway. If you do that with your hand, it goes in even easier. So now we have our engine in. Let me go around and get all of our bell housing bolts in. I think I'm missing one for the starter because I got the car with the starter out. It could be in the trunk for all I know. So I'll take a peek, see what I can find, but let's get this thing put back together. Well, let's at least get it all bolted up so the engine is like permanently in. Keep some room. Starter. Get that guy out. Old pitch stop. The Group N one. It's got the STI logo on it, like I said. Don't need anything crazy fancy in this car. Which is weird for me to say, because normally I'm all about the fancy shit. Fresh ass looking engine in here, daddy-o. Look at that. Engine mounts are in. Brand new front O2. I don't know if I have an O2 socket here. Normally I have a socket for tightening these, but I don't have one here. I'm just kind of making do with what I got. I don't love this, but it works for now, I guess. Just like that, we have our engine fully installed in here now, you guys. We have our starter in, we've got our pitch stop in, our motor mounts are bolted down. Engine isn't going anywhere. I would like to get the turbo and everything on tonight, but I can't. Well, I can, but it's just gonna make my life harder later. I'm missing the banjo bolt for the coolant line off of the back of the head. So I have some at the house. I went through all my bolt bins over there, all the boxes of parts that I got with this car. I just don't have one. So I know I have some at the house. I'll grab one while we're there. So for now, we're gonna keep going on this. I'm going to go ahead and toss on our TGV housings on the car. There's no point in me trying to hide any of this. So you guys see everything. I'm not gonna hide anything. This car didn't come with any TGV housings or stock TGVs. And to be honest, I just don't wanna spend $700 on a set. So I snagged a set of these RCM ones. They are O-ringed on the top. Will it throw a check engine light and will cold starts be a little bit rough? Yes. Will it be the end of the world? No. But like I said, I don't care to spend 700 bucks on a set of TGVs since this car just didn't come with any. So if you have the TGVs, use them. If you buy aftermarket TGVs, IAG makes a great set for you to be able to retain the butterfly valves. I just don't have any, and they're stupid expensive now. So I got those RCM ones for, I want to say like 200 bucks on sale. So I'm using these. Like it's not worth it to me to spend 700 bucks on them. The whole reason for the phenolic spacers is just to give a little extra room for the Killer Bee hard inlet that we're going to be using. So that way we're not fighting, because after watching Remy fight with that thing, I was like, I'll get the 3mm phenolic spacers just to give us a little bit extra clearance. Is it needed? I don't know with the Cosworth manifold. I don't even know if it'll work with the Cosworth manifold. So, I mean, we'll find out. Dude, it looks so good with the Cosworth manifold in there and whatnot. Oh, I love it. We're just gonna keep putting some like accessories on the engine. So next up, let's toss in our fuel injectors and our fuel rails on there, just so that way we can get those done with and on. One of the ways that I'm gonna limit myself with power on this build is fuel injector size. So we are only using ID 1050s because that is going to be a big way to limit and control what I do. Otherwise, I'll become a silly Billy and do too much, because that's what I had. That's just how it works. I can already tell you what'll happen. We'll go to the dyno and Josh will be like, wow, dude, we got 1300s on here. We can send this thing to the moon. I'll be like, Josh, we can't though. I promised that this would just be a light build. Okay, I've played this song and dance too many times, okay? I've done this before. Oh yeah, no, it is the large. ID 1050s, we should still be able to spin these guys and rotate them, which we can, so perfect. This front one does feel a little tight, but I can still spin it, so we should be all right there. Toss our catback on, so that way we can get another big box out of here to free up some more room and get the catback on the car. I've actually never used this one. This is the HKS. Oh, that looks good. It kind of reminds me of a Tomei with the external hanger like that. We got the external hanger. We got the mid pipe here with a resonator too, so that'll be nice. We also got the big old tip right here, which looks good. So I like this exhaust. I've never had this one before, the HKS with the carbon muffler. It's obviously just a normal muffler with carbon wrapped around it. I've had the Tomei, I've had the Gredi RS, I've had Nvidia. I'm curious. I'm trying all the exhausts for GDs apparently from what I've tried in the past. So let's go ahead and toss this guy on. This will also verify to me if my exhaust hangers are in usable condition or not. I've got a couple extra in this box here, so looks like more overspray got on that one. Let's get that guy on. Curious to see what that looks like. I'll tell you, it's definitely a tight fit. But see, this way, I can at least have something to hang the exhaust in as I go to put it through and get it on the other rear hanger, which is right there. I just lost it. This looks like it'll go kind of up and through like that. And then this guy looks like he'll just kind of go up here. Go out of the hanger more. Right there. Beautiful. I might get some tighter hangers to bring this up a little bit. But I mean, even with it, yeah, I'm gonna get some tighter hangers for this thing to be able to pull this up more. Because if I can do that, it'll sit a little bit closer to the bumper where I want it. But for now, I think this will totally be fine. So. Oh yeah, dude, that's gonna annoy me. I need new exhaust hangers. That's gonna drive me bonkers. They look good though, I like that. Next, I think this is going to rotate up more. At least I would presume. I don't know, we'll wait till we get the downpipe on here, but I'm gonna order some new hangers tonight because that's pretty bad. Yeah, I like that. I like that the HKS doesn't stick out a mile past the bumper. It's actually flush with it. Like with the Tomei sticks out so far. The Greddy RS is like an in-between between the Tomei and this HKS, so I feel like this is kind of like perfect for what I like. I like my exhaust to be just kind of flush, so super happy with that. Very curious to see how that sounds. So I was getting ready to toss on our new power steering pump, and I was cleaning up the bracket because it's pretty nasty. And if you look at it right, I don't want to touch it again. Where'd it go? This thing's broken. I think it's on the other side. It is. If you look right there, there's a crack in it, so that's scrap. Luckily, I do have another one at the house, so I'll grab it tonight when we go back there. And you know what, maybe it's just for the better we don't use that one covered in crap. So I also tossed the turbo in just to kind of see what it would look like with the manifold, and it looks really good. Clearance looks pretty decent. I might actually have to run a soft inlet on this. I have a Killer B hard inlet, but I don't think it's gonna be able to clear this portion of the manifold right there. That's with 3mm phenolic spacers. I just don't see it happening. So I may order a Perrin 2.4 inch just to have it on hand, but I don't think that's gonna work. For now, I do wanna toss in the radiator, and I'm glad that I'm doing a lot of the stuff. Like, I'm obviously gonna have to take the radiator back out, but I'm glad I'm doing this because I just realized I don't have the crossover tube that comes out right here and goes across that goes to the coolant overflow, which sits over here. So I'm gonna have to order that tonight as well. But for now, we'll toss in our fans on the radiator, get the radiator temporarily put in here as well. So that way we can keep, this way I'm seeing like the small stuff that I'm missing that I didn't know that I'm missing. So it kind of works out. CSF, we used this CSF, well, not this exact one, but we used CSF on the hatch also, and it worked great. Never had any issues. So we'll go ahead and get our fans put on. So I'm gonna run across here and take out these 10. This fan is gonna be for this side. I might buy a coil. This is just too big, dude. I think with the equal length it would fit fine, but right down here my fan is literally sitting on the manifold down there, so I don't see it work. It's just too thick. Why is this so thick? I don't know, dude. I'll figure something out. That's all I got for you guys on this one. Like I said, the next video is gonna be a big progress one on the engine bay of this thing. Once we get the engine bay kind of sorted, we're gonna jump to doing some stuff in the interior. We're gonna jump to fitting up the flares permanently, getting the rear flares on there, all that stuff. So, huge progress. I think we have a carbon hood coming for this, if I remember properly. I don't know, I'll have to check, but anyways, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you like the video and you're excited for the Hawkeye, go ahead, hit that like button, turn it black, blue, green, yellow, purple, silver, cyan, whatever color it turns for you. And if you're not already subscribed and you want to be able to put it in one of these corners, no idea which one quite yet, but with that, I'll catch you guys in the next one. So peace out, homies.